Well, well, well. Well, 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 well. Well, howdy ho. Howdy mighty. Hello, all. Hola. Tree trunk. Robo honky. What's going on, y'all? It's a beautiful day. It is in Texas, here too. It finally cooled down. There's a breeze. I'm kind of ready for winter, honestly. My thick Italian hair follicles are pretty much done with summer as soon as it starts. I just don't make me feel good. Congrats on the boy. Thank you. Yeah, it's awesome. Hey, Arwen, what's going on? The thoughts on high bees fly? What? High bees fly? How bees fly? Or how high bees fly? Highest I've seen some bees fly is probably about 20, 22 feet. I saw a swarm leave its place, whatever you call it. Its hive. The hive left. And it was intense. I don't know. Blacks, yeah, bees. What are you talking about? How high bees jump? Really high. A new week, a new opportunity to figure things out and laugh over the results. True. True, true, true. The haze is receding here where I am in Colorado. Where is you? What do you think about surfing? I've never tried it. I don't particularly like challenging the ocean. It's probably super fun. I mean, I grew up snowboarding, so I assume it's just the summer version of that with sharks. But I don't really think about surfing. So, AGB Happy Monday. When do Volume 3 ship? They'll start soon. They should be arriving to our home or to our, I mean, we ordered so many books, 3,000 this time. So Volume 1 went from 750, Volume 2 was 1,000, and now it's 3,000. And our pre-orders is over 1,000 of you guys ordered the pre-order book. And so it's supposed to land, and the pallet or pallets, I don't even know. It's pretty overwhelming. But it's supposed to be in the next week or two. And so we're doing all the other work, the pre-packaging of the stickers, you know, the bonus print that I'm giving you guys. And the stickers and the magnet and whatnot, which is kind of a blessing to get that stuff kind of pre-organized, which is mostly Megan. But it's soon. Your patience is valued. I had to test my own patience with this. Sea creatures kind of scare you. Yeah, they should. Bill Nye the Science Denier. Bill Nye, good work on your comments with the Sean douchebag guy. I had to block him eventually. He's almost like Amazing Lucas. It's like these people are only so much, you know, like your time is worth more than the back and forth that they try to create. It's nonsensical. Challenge the ocean in a cute squirrel suit. Yeah, surfing's probably several degrees more masculine than squirrel suit jumping. You imagine you left your family that day and you jumped off a cliff in a squirrel suit and you died, and it's like you were found in a squirrel suit, you know, with the little webs. Like you don't even see your own, like, you know, body form. It's just a webby pile of body, you know. Unfortunately, they never do they don't do the chalk lines for that kind of death, because that would be doubly embarrassing. It's just a thought of that. I mean, there should almost be some sort of, safety procedure that if you know you're about to die in a squirrel suit, there's somehow the squirrel fins and everything goes away or cuts off or unzips or detaches or something. It's almost like an eject button. The normal eject button in like an aircraft would eject you with a parachute and you'd survive. Well, this is, you're going to die, so there's no ejecting for the safety, of survival. It's you eject from your squirrel suit so you're not found in a squirrel suit. Your little short arms and your little legs, your little squirrel suit shoes. What do those look like? Those metally pedaling shoes that these bikers wear. They pretend that, most of them pretend that they have to be locked into their pedals. Their little pedal boots, little pedal clogs. What's the squirrel suit version of that? Definitely, whatever it is, it's probably those kinds of shoes that you wear on all of your toes. It outlines your little feet with your little feet fingers while you're jumping off and being a squirrel in the sky. They probably wear a squirrel suit when they're making love to their wives. Yeah, before they leave. And it's reluctant. Like, they're only thinking about jumping off a cliff. And she's like, he's like thinking about something else. And she's like, look at me. What? I'm thinking of you, but I'm thinking of the jump too. Are you thinking about me? Are you thinking about someone else? Not someone else. Just another version of me. Hello from Maine. Hi, Maine. Hello. Saw a video of the Red Bull skydiver, no shoot, land in a big net. New level score. Oh, yeah, I've seen that too. Jordan, do you give them a proper human burial or give them a casual squirrel burial? Well, I don't know. It's got to be a very awkward, position to be in where you're going to a funeral of your father or something, and it's like, what are you thinking about? Or if you're the wife, what is going through your head while you're trying to pick out a coffin, And it's like you're surrounding with your family before the coffin goes down into the earth, becomes one. And it's like what goes through your head, It's like, why, it's got to be pretty surreal to be looking at your loved one who's dead and thinking, why? Why squirrels? It's like, not to say that death, any form of death is ever justified in contrast to the extreme pain that you feel in mourning. But at least if you die doing something that's, noble, like defending your family, or doing a very difficult job that provides something for other people, or war, But fuck, a squirrel suit. I mean, that's really got to mess with someone's head, to move on in life and try to move on a little bit. It's got to be difficult every time you go to the park to forget about Daddy. What do you see? A squirrel. And it's like, what do you think? Do you think, damn it, Daddy? Or do you think, is that you? It's like, Mom, I think I saw Dad at the park, you know? You just got banned on IG. Yeah, I'm tired of IG. I have zero investment in IG. I just don't care. It used to be like super fun. It's still fun, like comments and stuff, but once you come down with all these rules and nonsense, you don't even get the fun of your opposition coming in. You don't even get the Sean Hawkins. You don't even get these people. And they're just, where does it go? Nowhere. Doesn't do anything. It connected us all, but it's just so, it's embarrassing. If it wasn't just like so well made, it wouldn't be an issue just, going somewhere else. But it just happens to be for what it is, the best version of that thing, whatever that is. Some of the other, Gab is starting to look like some sort of synthesis of Instagram and Facebook. I think that would be my second best platform as far as just how it operates and what it looks like, and how you interact with it. But Telegram, I just stay out of. Luckily, there are other people who post my stuff on Telegram, which is, I thank you for that, because it really just is like giant group text message. It feels like nobody likes those. What is IG? Yeah, exactly. Good job. We envy you partially. What the fuck are you doing in your pod? You're supposed to be at your station. Exactly. I was at my station. Now I get an hour. I wasn't a fan of the brown one. Pretty sure he's a stolen bike. Which brown one? What's the next step in blaming the unvaccinated? Oh, I don't know. I've seen so many silly things. Especially we act like these musicians have any real say. I mean, some of them, they have to risk their entire livelihood and their reputation, all this stuff, because it's so divisive. But it's most of those people are at the mercy of the investors, the label, what it's equivalent to a label now, the ticket sales people, like basically a giant corporate hydra that determines for them what their stance is going to be. And it's given by some sort of legality, possibly legal threat. If you back out, you're jeopardizing this contract that this many shows you should honor, right? You got to honor this many shows. It's part of the contract. This is a purchase order that was made for the vendors for the shows. I mean, we think of stuff outside of the logistics of all of it. We just look and we go, oh, you're doing a show and you cancel it. It's like, it doesn't justify it. It's just that it makes total sense given their scenario. They're not the agents really of their own life. I mean, I was watching the documentary about Val Kilmer. I didn't realize that he had like throat cancer and he talks like Stephen Hawking now, which, by the way, if you're listening, Val Kilmer, your career's not over. You can still do a play or something like the late, the end of the road fake documentary sort of biopic of Stephen Hawking in the late years. You could probably do that. But he was talking about Hollywood early on, and he was like, yeah, you sign these deals and then they own you. They own your speaking, they own your spirit, and you're basically signed over to the trajectory of all of these faceless, and some have faces, these entities that are driven by one thing only, and then it's not truth, you know. So it's very similar. All these like musicians you liked before, and you know, my friend, my guitar, my online guitar teacher, my personal Brett, sent me one of this dude who's like a really good jazz guitarist, and he plays gypsy too and all this stuff, and they don't think about this stuff. They just go, oh, this is for the greater good, you know. But it's fine. We don't care if those structures die off, you know, those venues, those pieces of us that were a part of our upbringing, you know, going to a concert, these kinds of like moments we tie to our memories and ourselves. It's okay if they all fall away, because the cool thing emerges out of these dumbass constraints. The constraints, anyone who's an artist knows constraints are what really give you some real inspiration and power, is because the constraints tell you where to operate, what to make, how to navigate. You know, I pretty much flourish from constraint. I pretty much get paralyzed from excess, from just unlimited resources. It's like one of my nightmares. Unlimited resources. So it's all really a good thing. You know, it's easy to point and be like, oh, this is disgusting, you should be ashamed of yourself. But really, if we're being honest with ourselves, we go, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense for you guys. So, you know, what's the alternative? There's so many alternatives. There's so many ways to maintain what you want to create in the world, what you want to say. There's so many ways to speak truth and bring beauty into the world, point to nonsense. There's so many ways to do it. In a way, there will never be not a way to do it. So it's kind of cool. I like it. Big concerts never appealed to me, small bands. Yeah, all that really small, intimate stuff. And it'll be like the new, you know, Prohibition, but for normal things like playing music. And that will be cool. That's going to make it cool. You know what I mean? It's going to be fun. And then people are going to want to be a part of that, because that's the new counterculture. Normal's the new counterculture. I mean, we saw it with like years ago with conservatism generally, like family, just basic, normal, foundational structures was, you know, the new counterculture. But now it's just getting to the atomized level of just daily things that we would normally do. Like before it was foundation. Now it's getting the resolution in which that applies. The counterculture is normal, is the counterculture. And by normal, I mean ordinary things you would do throughout your life in the last 50 years. You know, go to the grocer's, farm freely, go fishing, go see a band, these things. I did used to enjoy those big concerts when I was younger, though it became a tedious task by show day. Yeah, exactly. Especially when you become a father, and like just the daily exhaustion from being a father and the weight of responsibility and all that, which is a beautiful thing. You just, you know, for parents in general, you're just like, wait, we're going to do that? We're going to do that? That's why it's so funny that they sell you the, you know, the home life. Stay at home. Stay at home. Stay isolated. And a lot of us reject the notion because of the psychopaths who are telling us. But at the same time, we enjoy the actual, you know, expression of that, being home being home. It's like they sell us what we actually want, but we don't want their version of what they're selling us. It's like sustainability. You're like, yeah. They're like, this kind? You're like, no. They're like, here, goodness in the world. Your kind? No, not your kind. Not that. Localization. Stay where you are. Don't go. Let's say, stay in your little general area. Stay in your district. You're like, no. And you're like, I will, but no. No to your version of it. Want no shedders spoiling. Shedders. Super shredders. Shredder. Someone should make a, Shredder from Ninja Turtles. Should be Shedder, and he has just needles all over him. Shedder. I got to see Blues Traveler perform. Whoa. It's pretty good. I saw the Pixies perform in a very small venue in Los Angeles. That was pretty awesome. That was in my fuck everything, nihilistic, I still like how they organize their music, though. Good elements, good dynamics. It's just that I'm just done with the nihilism, done with that thing, that chip on your shoulder, nihilism. Amazing Lucas is still in the closet. Probably. He did something. As a musician, I appreciate shows, large and small, but I don't need to consume the music. My family takes great joy in making our own. Yeah. I mean, there's always something that I always enjoyed about going to see live performers who were really good. And it didn't matter if they were famous. It just mattered if it was live and I could watch it and sit there and eat crappy bar food. Just enjoy it. Just watch, see what they're doing. But you realize you can do that a lot of places. Really, it's the real draw is the physicality. It's not that it's a venue. It's not that it's a famous band or there's a lot of people. It's watching people in the physical do physical things. We're seeing their gifts in real time, which is different than seeing them on the little screen. Sean is still accounting for the Earth's spin, and did he figure it out? Anyone know? I don't know. He's goes off a lot of assumptions. Artists are all about artistic freedom. Isn't personal freedom the highest freedom you can have? Kind of, yeah. I know what you mean. I would say spiritual freedom is the highest because you can have your personal freedom taken. You can be in shackles and still be spiritually free. Freer than someone in an ivory tower. But I get what you're saying. Yeah, that makes no sense. In the spirit of music, the spirit of what music does for people spiritually, healing, regenerates their spirit, vitality, joyfulness, most important thing. Music was given to us by God for joy. Joyful. But, it's easily hijacked with dissonance, darkness, fucking whininess, this kind of shit. Not that I make joyful music. I mean, it might make you laugh. I don't know if that's considered joyful, though. It's like, does it count if I make a not joyful song, but it makes you guys laugh? Does that count? I don't know. It's a big form of congregational worship. And, it's almost a blessing that all this stuff has happened because it's appropriate that people who worship man were already worshiping Beyonce, Seance, and they were already in that church. So, of course, they'll take their, you know, what do you call it? Communion, their holy water, which is in the form of a jab, they'll take it, you know? And so to get back into their congregation, it's a sacrifice. I mean, the difference is a church, it would be like a church requiring you to take communion as a way to get into the service. That would be the difference. But it makes total sense that all of these churches, I watched a recent stream from Church of Eternal Logos on, I forgot the name of it, but he mentioned like the high elite canopies, you know, the Sam Harrises and all these people get to sit up there in their canopies that are protected, and they get to speak down and point where things ought to go. And but their congregation and their foundations are crumbling, and they don't realize it. And it's what's important for our side, the people who have eyes to see and ears to hear, who see what's happening. It's important to really, even if you get triggered and see that they, according to their standards, are progressing, right? But you got to understand that every time you look at what seems to be your opposition and you see them and their agendas, right? And you watch, and to you go, oh, they're progressing. This sucks. Oh, now they're doing this and it's working, and this sucks. You got to realize every time you do that, you lie to yourself, because what you do is you accept the premise that what they're doing is progress. It's not. The only objective basis for progress is truth, absolute truth. It's the only objective. Everything else is an arbitrary goal given by materialists who try to base truth and what's good and what's right in some sort of outcome in the world. And that's what we're seeing. But when you know that in your heart, and you know that, and you have the practice and discernment to see it all over the place, you realize, wow, they have no foundation. Their progress is based on convention. It's based on changing opinion. It's based on science, which is changing knowledge over time. Science isn't wisdom. Wisdom's true. Changing trends, changing, whatever it is. The progressive, the materialist, their ideology, their foundations change as quickly as, a baby with a diaper. And so why would you ever be truly intimidated, angry, scared of an opposition that not only they have no foundation, they don't even share the same brick laying techniques or material. It's all different, all changing, all individualistic, atomized. They don't have anything. They don't even know how to mix the damn cement. They're like, oh, I want to be a part of this foundation. You're like, yeah, well, get in a line and we got to make this brick. And they're like, but I want to make the brick my way. I'm special. And then everyone goes, yeah, I want the light blue feathery weight brick material, with like cool burned fibers in it, I want a designer brick. I want a rainbow brick. And that's all I see. And I'm just like, oh, why would I ever get triggered, concerned, scared, set off into some spiral if what looks like some sort of aggressive agenda against me, which exists, by the way. I'm not saying that doesn't exist, but I'm saying even an aggressive agenda against you and what you believe and what you stand for, That's all I have against something. See, a foundation is for something. So you can be for something and it wouldn't matter who's against it. It might necessarily combat opposition, but you don't do it to go against them. You do things for something. For something. You build for something. You build toward something. You don't look and go, oh, we've got to run from that. You just simply go toward what you want. It says, it's like this chariot that looks like golden and it's full of knowledge and it has this like archetypical leader, this King Solomon character that, he's connected to this powerful Clydesdale and they're chasing you and your kind and your beliefs and your ideology, chasing you away. And you look back and it's all a blur and you're running. And then you look back and a little more focus because you got a P900 now. And you look closer and their spokes are all made of different material. The wheels are all different shapes. There's no floor. It's like standing on this cross beam that's barely there. The axle's rotting. But from afar, it's all shiny. The sun is beaming on it. You're like, oh, look. The technocratic psychopaths have the golden chariot of knowledge and cosmology. They have the monopoly on it all. And they're running us out of town, guys. Then you look even closer. They don't even have a real Clydesdale. They fucking duct tape a bunch of like sheep fur to a donkey. You're like, what? You're like, and then your friends are still running and you're like, hey guys, look closer. They're like, no, we got to go now. Look at their Clydesdale. Look at their golden chariot. And you're like, no, just look closer. Just breathe for a second. Stop and look. Look what they got. No foundation. Clydesdale of lies. Yeah, the whole thing. Majestic. The presentation. If they move it fast enough, and it's another decent analogy because the blur of movement, the speed. Son of a... That's what happens, folks. That's what happens when you point out the chariots, the paper Clydesdales. Where was I? Where the hell was I, you guys? What happened? I got grabbled. That's what happens. What happened is I got a phone call. Now I'm learning that I have to put my notifications on Do Not Disturb. Because if you're streaming on your mobile device and you get a phone call, it doesn't matter if you reject the call, accept the call, or let it ring. It freezes your YouTube app. So it wasn't technically a grabble, but it's a shitty thing to do. The speed of the guidance. Okay, yeah. The speed of the guidance system. The speed at which NASA delivers the massive amount of data to their little masked elves in the workshop who aren't watching anything but a screen. The same is delivered through the media, that guidance system, the whatever, Jesuit, Freemason, atheist, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. It's delivered with such speed similar to the broken golden chariot running after you, and you don't have time to process. That's why they could say through their massive entertainment-based media complex, there's a spider on your shoulder. And it's delivered with such, such rigor, and it's so perpetual. It's like almost violent. A spider on you, and then you watch a bunch of people, who freak out. You ever tell someone there's a spider on them if they're afraid of spiders? That's what it looks like. That's a microcosm. So everyone freaks out and tries to wipe the spider off. But equivalent in time, it takes like 3 to 5 months for them to realize there was never a spider on them. By which time they already accepted all these new procedures. They already accepted them. And so, if everyone accepted them, well, it must be the best way forward because, it started with someone screaming there was a spider on me, and we all just, it was probably better safe than sorry. You don't know. You don't know if it's a redback. Is it a redback, mate? Or a black widow? Or a brownie? Brown recluse? So you try to freak out and wipe it off, and then only later, in hindsight, you look back and you go, oh, it's not even, what? That wasn't even a spider? Wasn't even a daddy long leg, let alone a scary spider. It wasn't even a spider. And it's that blur. It's that speed. And that's why spending time with your family, trying to get as much as you can off the devices, regardless of how much you want to connect with people and watch streams like this and other people you like. It really is in the physical space where things slow down, and you're not used to the bombardment of tiny bits of information that your brain has to then make all the connections to. Your brain has to make sense of it. Why? If you just sit down and look outside, everything's mostly in order the way it was created, and that's why we're able to make sense of it. So we're given that state of calm already. Like the state of calm is actually the normal. And so it's a good opportunity to practice it. When you feel like you're staring back at a golden shiny chariot with guns and all these people with suits on, and the Clydesdales come in, it's pulling it, and you're like, holy shit, we're up against a lot here. They're like running after us while they're writing laws and shit in the back of the chariot, and they're just screaming them, and there's the crowd of sheep with their masks on are cheering from the side, like in the times of Gladiator, putting their thumbs up and down, moaning. But the opportunity is to stop running and go, wait, what is that made of? Wait, they're not even moving. They're on like a treadmill. They're like on a high-speed, flat airport treadmill. It's not a golden chariot. It's spray painted. It's got one triangle wheel. What? The speed is a big deal. 5G, download faster than everything. Speed, click, swipe, scroll, watch. It's really that speed is the trick. High-speed guidance systems. You know what I mean? It's like you're in life. You have a bunch of guidance systems around you, and they're delivering the instructions with higher speed than you can discern where you even want to do, or how you want to operate. Such high speed. And it's funny is that the controllers, there's no way they're operating under the same guidance system. There's no way the controllers, the social engineers, the ones crafting our futures while we try to craft next week, there's no way they're operating the same way under all the same platforms with the same speed. They sit and they're like, no, why would we do that for a long game? Why would I process all of that speed and quick information if my game is a 5-year game, 10-year game? And the good news is we can have 2, 3, 4, 5-year games. All we need to do is dedicate time that's off of the guidance system, whatever it is, including myself, including me talking as some form of a guidance system, is working on, what does God want you to do? God doesn't live stream. There's already a guidance system. And some of us can relay that, try to point to it. But that's a slow guidance system. That's not high speed. That's deep seated. It's like contextual. It's spiritual. It goes with tribulation. It goes with experiencing tribulation and long suffering joyfully. So why? I mean, a lot of us are, a lot of us are crushing through this where a lot of people aren't. And they're, whatever side you're on, as far as the fake binary of jabby, no jabby, V, no V, pass, no pass, these kinds of things. It really, what matters is that you're spiritually free. Now, the question is, can you be joyful through what occurs to you as tribulation, long suffering, unpreferred circumstances? And it's not because, you don't earn joy after you defeat. That's another misconception. Yeah, we're going to get this together. We got to organize. We got to defeat them. We got to call these people. We got to overturn this and that, all this stuff, right? And then we can be joyful because we defeated them, defeated the enemy. No, actually, biblically, the command is to be joyful through your tribulation. I would call this tribulation. I mean, it's high-end tribulation. It isn't third world tribulation. It's some other weird bullshit. But I won't discard it because it does, to be perfectly honest, a lot of it just sucks. It's just like, it's annoying. It's low frequency, low vibration. You're looking around at a bunch of fearful people. And there's nothing more. It's funny. There's, you look at people and you're like, why are you so demoralized from this stupid nonsense? Like, wake up. But then if you catch yourself and you're honest, like, you get demoralized by looking at the demoralized. And that's part of the trick. So that's the big opportunity. Joyful playfulness through what looks like a total shit show. It alters everything. It transcends outcome, really. It transcends outcome. I've reclaimed my peace and joy last year. I was so angry with perfect strangers. I allowed this BS to get to me. Yeah, that's the real trickery in it. Is you're like, I wouldn't be so mad if you woke up. I wouldn't be so mad if you just keep accepting this nonsense. It's like, okay, that phase is over, you guys. So, can you be peaceful and joyful? You can. And it's in joyfulness. It's not just pure joy. You can be pure joyfulness not doing anything. But you can take your joyfulness into what you make in your music and singing. Whatever it is, whatever your gift is, it's not always this big fight with the sword and you got the armor of God on, and that's awesome. That's awesome, by the way. But it doesn't always look that way. Sometimes your sword is just your pearly whites. You know what I mean? Just lightness, lightness. I'm kind of going with that approach. I've spent the last year making all these rules. What's the beast? What's not the beast? What to do? You can't do that. Blah, blah. All these rules imposed by myself, by the way, imposed to me. All these I don't know how to explain it. It's discern, figure out the enemy and oppose it and go the opposite direction. It's well, actually, to be Christ-like, we can't be Christ, but to be Christ-like, you can be with anybody, you guys. You can be around a lot of people. You can be around people whose behavior, whose ideology, you're repulsed by it. And that's actually freedom. Why? Because the only reason you would feel the need to isolate, and not to say there isn't power in in-group preference. You want that. You want that foundation. That's important. But that doesn't mean you can't interact. Oh, you can't, you have to make enemies and make the barriers. You don't. Because the only reason you'd be fearful of that is if the premise is that you can be shaken, that you can be taken off your line, that your faith isn't actually strong. And if you're influenced by these people, or if you talk to them, or whatever it is, it's are you that insecure about your own faith? We did the reveal party for who will be my firstborn son. And, we have some liberal people in the immediate family. And we were talking and we prayed before we ate and everything. And they participate in that. And I think that's cool. They don't be they just do it and that's cool. And so, there was a joke that was made because we were it's a boy, blah, blah, blah. And the person knew that we think it's all nonsense, this gender bender stuff. And I don't even know if they really buy into it either, but they were free enough because of our joyfulness and our lightness. Strict in what we believe, but light in the delivery. And they were free enough to go, well, it's not, you let them decide what they want to be. And they were joking though, but they were free enough to say it as a joke. Even though totally different opinions about all of that stuff. Everything, by the way, almost everything. So I think that's a result of lightness. Being able to still hug people, communicate. You don't cut people off. They can do that, but yeah, Jim, congrats on the baby boy. Thank you. Even in times of sadness, I'm always joyful. Yeah, exactly. God bless. Satan's goal is to distract from joy in any way possible. Yeah, absolutely. And that's why I tried to do with Sean. Eventually I got a little nasty and basically suggested he go find a rope. Not godly. Not Christian, not a good thing. That's why I'm talking about this, because it's I haven't mastered this. Are you kidding me? But I want to. You don't have to do that. When you go towards God, those people drift away. Yeah, that's such a good point. You go towards God and the people who know you're free somehow, eventually, even if they're yeah, I know kind of why, but I don't want to do it. They will still want to be around you anyway. They don't want to melt in their own, enslavement. They want some form of, again, foundation. You end up representing foundation. Why? Because you're going toward what grounds logically, spiritually, metaphysically absolute truth, the source of all, in a coherent worldview. It's not just like a luminary, you know, like, oh, Jimmy James is so free. And you're like, Jimmy, you know, during this time, like, why are you so free? You know, it's amazing. And you're like, it's Saturn in the luminary. You're like, what? What? He that is slow to wrath is of great understanding, but he that is hasty of spirit exalteth folly. Absolutely. And mostly I'm the former. But sometimes, oh man, sometimes I go full on, like, oh my gosh. Always good advice to get some rope. Yeah, I never really say it, but I would be lying if I didn't mean it. Sometimes I am convinced that you can remove some level of evil through flesh and blood. It's blasphemy. You can't. It's like, let's murder all the murderers. Let's rape all the rapists. Can't do it. I got Corvid over the weekend and survived. Yeah. Of course you did. Never steal God's skills. Denmark, did your paintings come to you yet? I don't know what the deal is with your shipping there, and like if they're like, we have to hold all items for 6 months. It could be contaminated with a French tickler virus. Yo! So, anyway, I don't know if that first thing saved. I wish it did, because I got into some stuff I wasn't even planning. I'm just kind of going freestyle. So, anyway, moral of the story: don't be deceived by speed and blurriness. Look closer at what you perceive to be the scapegoat, the enemy approaching, the big scary boogeyman. Look closer, and just realize, oh, they got no foundation. For the people who run away from that and they turn the corner quick, right? And they get away. Like right after they turn the corner, the fake golden chariot just like collapses. And they're just like, oh, that was a close one, you guys. Can we get a little extra glue next time? And then the fake donkey that's presented as a Clydesdale, it's got duct tape sheepskin wool on its hooves. It's just a donkey. It just collapses and shits itself. And you notice this, every time a lie is figured out, they have to reboot all of that shit. They have to clear the area, rebuild their golden, spray a little more gold spray paint over there. It's kind of looking a little crusty. Guys, come on, chop, chop. It's like reset for the Hollywood, the set, You got to reestablish everything again. Clean up the mess, do it again. Every time the lie's figured out, they come through with another one, but it's all the same shit. Satoshi Bear, $5. Thank you. Appreciate that. It's all fake. They have no foundation. Courage. Courage. Anyway, we gotta wrap it up. Tomorrow's Tuesday, a day off, and Wednesday too. I will definitely do a live stream. I'm pretty much due for another song, a 1-minute ditty, as they call them. So I'll think about what to write about or whatever. It's never-ending supply of material. Other than that, you guys have a joyful day. Again, joyfulness through what you think is tribulation, suffering, joyfulness. That's the sharpest, aside from the word, it's the sharpest knife. Anyway. Grant, hey Grant, thanks for the super chat. Richard Dawkins, Dildo Dawkins. Would you consider taking Ayn Rand on a date and possibly talking her into having your baby?
Well, I am certainly done with children. Not just having them, but I'm done acting like a daddy, They're biologically connected to me, but only through chemicals, through evolution. You see, it's descriptive. Yeah. I did not actually choose my daughter. Yeah. Bippity boppity boo. And if Miss Rand was still alive today, I would happily sit down with her, but I would probably not find her very attractive, unless she cut her hair a little bit more. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yes.
DKK, Denmark. Hey, thanks, Denmark. Paintings was stuck in customs. Should get them any day now. Well, they came out awesome. So they'll be worth getting stuck in customs. But thank you for that tip. The paintings had COVID.
Well, everything is not just chemical, of course not. That is bullshit.
Randy Rand.
Oh. Spaghetti Monster.
I have him almost sketched out for The Professionals, the animated series with Jordan Peterson being the therapist for all these professional liars. And so Dildo Dawkins is almost he's all laid out to be outlined and colored. I'm pretty excited. And I'm taking my time with it because I don't want to just rush through. I want to experience full work. Anyway, I have to go. Thanks for the super chats. Thanks for listening. I hope the other one saved. Someone said it did. That's great. Tomorrow, I have no idea. I might just do me and my mom talked last night. We figured out a topic, which is going to be pretty cool. Talk about counterfeits. We're also going to talk about that one, I think it was 3 Timothy 4:7 or whatever, about people who come in the form of godliness but reject, and they pursue knowledge and they never know anything's true. I think that's always relevant. So with that, adios. God bless you. Be joyful. That's it.